Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully the audio is working. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Jermaine Forbes. And this is another body odor vlog. Excuse the red eyes. I haven't been smoking weed. It has nothing to do with smoking weed. My eyes are itchy because of my allergies. I get seasonal allergies. I started getting seasonal allergies. I remember the first time it started. It started when I turned 18. I didn't know what the fuck was going on with my body. I didn't know what was going on with my body because, within the first 17 years, everything was fine. But for some reason, at the age of 18, it just hit me. I started sneezing like crazy. My eyes were itchy. I was constantly itchy. My nose was always running. In my room, it was very dusty, to be honest. So I know I'm allergic to dust mites or whatever. And I'm now, at least at this current moment, I don't even know if I can say I have it under control. I'm still taking medication shit. I actually went to an allergist last year, and technically I have the ability to take these allergy shots that's supposed to reduce your symptoms, but I never went. I should go tomorrow because they told me that you can go. I have it set up where, or at least the office has it set up where on Mondays and I think Thursdays you can go from 8 to 4. I just never went because by the time I went, they set it up. I knew I was gonna eat terrible because I had my birthday was really close by and I was gonna go somewhere and just eat whatever the fuck I wanted, which actually reminds me my birthday happened some time ago. That's a lot of things that happen. I'm just gonna go over the things that have happened after my last vlog. So, my last vlog, I was talking about the Ravens getting their ass kicked by the Chiefs, and they did, and they lost. The Chiefs won 17-10. Then the Super Bowl happened with the Chiefs versus the 49ers. It was a really close game, and I thought the 49ers were going to win, but the Chiefs won, surprisingly. So this is their it's their second straight Super Bowl win, and now they're trying to go for a third one. That's pretty good. My birthday happened, and then I went to all the way down to Orlando, which is actually not that far when I actually drove. It's like a 2-hour drive to go to Orlando. I originally wanted to get an apartment in Orlando as opposed to Jacksonville, but I found out I felt like the prices were too expensive compared to Jacksonville, so I was like, I'd rather go to Jacksonville than Orlando, even though there's way more things in Orlando compared to Jacksonville. But I say I go to Jacksonville than Orlando. But I went to Orlando for my birthday. I wanted to go to Universal Studios. So there's lots of different theme parks, and there's lots of parks there's lots of parks that are not really known. They're not universally known. That's in Orlando too. I recall one of these parks that was really close to my hotel. It was like a gator mini golf park, and then there's another park where it's a theme park or amusement park called Desertland Park. But the notable parks are obviously Disney and Universal Studios and Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. I didn't want to go to Disney or anything like that because I thought it was going to be expensive. I didn't want to go to Islands of Adventure because I assumed that was going to be expensive too. But the Universal Studios was surprisingly expensive. I recall going on I don't know if I could do it now, but I recall going on the website trying to look for tickets. Let me see if I could find it. Universal. I was trying to go for the tickets, right? And the Universal Studios shit was saying the tickets were $119 for one pass, and I'm like, damn, this is sort of expensive. But I was like, all right, that's cool. So then when I just picked one of the dates or whatever, and the shit jumped up to $138. I'm wait a minute. And it was on a Monday, so I'm like, how is it this expensive on a Monday and somewhere near February? I don't think I had expected to be expensive on a summer, during the summertime or spring break, because this is when people have on the national level have breaks where they can go somewhere. So I expected to be very expensive. But nah, that shit jumped from $119 to $138 or some crazy shit like that. Oh yeah, see, I was right. It was $119. Let me change my thing here. So it's like 119. Let's try it. It's $119, right? So it's like, okay, fine, tickets. Let's just pick one that happens next Monday or some shit like that. So for one park, I'm going to go one day, right? Okay, cool. Select a date. Is this showing? Let me see if it's showing. Yeah. Okay, let me pick like a Monday because my birthday was on a Monday. That bitch jumped to 159. It wasn't even 138. It wasn't even 138. It jumped to 159. On 119, it tells you. It literally tells you. The front of the page is 119. Then it jumped up to $40 more. Crazy. Just for one adult. Then you add it to cart. They didn't even calculate all the fucking other shit that's. Oh wait. You add it to cart. Let's just continue. It's probably gonna be like 170 or 180 or some crazy stupid shit like that. Let me keep going. Whatever. Extras. Don't want extras. Let's see what the total is. $169, bro. That shit's insane. You see how they get you? You first like, oh, 119 is sort of expensive, but you know, it's sort of reasonable. I'll deal with it. But then it jumps up to like 30 or $40. And you're like, whoa, right? And you're like, I want to go and celebrate for my birthday, so fuck it, I'll go. Then you go to subtotal, that bitch jumped up 10 more bucks. I fucking hate. I don't know. I don't know what I hate. I just hate businesses and how they just mislead you, I guess. But I have fun with Universal Studios. Here's the thing about Universal Studios. Universal Studios, when I went, I had pictures and stuff. I was going to make a video where I had pictures, because I still have like clips of the events, but I'm too lazy to actually put them on. Maybe I'll put them on. I don't think so, because I'm too lazy. I'm just going to throw this out, you know, because I haven't made a vlog in some time. But what was I going to say? Yeah. So I was taking pictures and stuff. And here's the thing about Universal Studios. I feel like Universal Studios theme park is a legacy theme park. Meaning, like, I went to Universal Studios in my life. I went to Universal Studios several times. And within that park, like, a lot of the stuff that's there, like, I recall when I was a kid, I don't know what age I was. Maybe I was close to 10, maybe preteen. I'll just say preteen. Like, I can recall that there was like, you know, there's rides and stuff. I know there was like a ride for like Terminator. I remember there was a ride for like King Kong. I remember there was a ride for E.T. I remember there was a ride for... What else was there a ride for? There was a ride for Jaws too when I was like a preteen. I want to say 12. But now, like, as a 34-year-old, I came back, and it still feels the same. Like, obviously the placement, everything's the same placement, but now it's changed up a little bit. Like, so instead of you're seeing like the ride for the ride for like Terminator, you see the ride for Fast and Furious and shit. And instead of like, you know, there would be certain events or certain like rides, it'll be a different ride. So then, like, the first ride that you see or amusement ride you'll see is like what is that? Those things called Despicable Me's. There'll be 2 Despicable Me's like amusement rides and shit. And I went on one of them, and it's pretty much you're like on a conveyor belt or some shit, and there'll be just like they'll give you this plastic ass fucking toy gun, and then there'll be like a video. There'll be this screen monitors where there's these bosses or enemies that you're supposed to shoot with your toy plastic gun, and you're in this conveyor belt back to back with like 30 other people and shit, shooting these, I don't know, these enemy bosses on a video monitor, and you collect points, but these points don't translate into anything. It says, hey, you just scored 22,000 points, but it doesn't mean anything. It was all pointless. That pretty much was like that encapsulates the experience for the Universal Studios. It was like, I don't know. It just felt like a waste of time. That's what I felt when I went to Universal Studios. I went to several rides too, and it was very important for me to go to Universal Studios because I wanted to see, you know, when you go into these rides, you wait a long time. So I was like, there's obviously that fear component of like, oh no, I might smell really bad and people are gonna react to me. I might overhear people say stuff. I went to I think I went to 4 different rides. I went to that Despicable Me one. I went to the Fast and Furious one. I went to one. I went to the Simpsons ride, and I went to the ET ride. And I didn't really hear. I didn't hear anything. Like I still could have smelled bad to them, but I didn't hear anybody visibly say anything, or I didn't visibly see someone like, you know, do something like that where it makes me think, okay, I smell bad to them. So that was cool, I guess. I mean, and it also, I don't know. I always feel like I should do something on my birthday because many a times I don't do shit on my birthday. Like most people don't do shit on their birthdays. At best, maybe they'll go to a restaurant on their birthday, maybe at best. And I was thinking like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do something to make my birthday memorable. And that's pretty much what that was. So yeah, I went to Universal Studios and then went to a strip club, and that's pretty much and that pretty much was it. Oh yeah, and then I ate at Chipotle's. That was pretty much it. What else happened? Oh, on my birthday, I watched Dune for the first time. Did you know Dune? First off, I think Dune 2 is coming out. I don't know if it came out already, but it's pretty close because I'm already seeing the trailers. But I thought it was very important to watch Dune because Dune the movie obviously was like one of the few movies that have like a 8 out of 10 score on IMDb. Like many of the movies I watched, many of the scores, even if I liked the movie, would be like 6s or 6.5s. So it was very rare to see 8s, and that was the thing that like intrigued me to watch the movie. Like, oh shit, wow, 8 out of 10. This must be a really good movie. But to make a long story short, the movie's alright, I guess. But the movie is not an 8 out of 10 for me, bruh. It's not I feel like it's one of those movies where the target demographic is the people who actually read the book. Because, bruh, it was alright, but there was just so much other shit that they're talking about where I'm like, what the fuck? What does that mean? What's the context of this? Why is this happening? Yeah, they explain stuff in the movie, but sometimes there's just like other things they don't explain. They expect you to already know, and I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's my review for Doom. That's my review for Doom. It's alright. I mean, if you wanna waste your money, okay, cool, I guess. What else happened? Okay, so testing. So I was talking about testing, went to a gastroenterologist, and I was trying to get like a SIBO test. But I didn't get a SIBO test. I only got 2 tests. 2 tests. One test is to determine if I have like gluten intolerance or some type of gluten intolerance, which is like supposed to be like a stool test. And the other test was like determine if I have lactose intolerance, whatever. And I did do the lactose intolerance test. I went to, was it the Mayo Clinic? I went to some hospital or whatever. And basically what they do is they make you sit down in a sofa chair while you have to drink some type of solution. They have some powdery stuff. They stir it up. You drink it. Then you blow in this like tube for like maybe 10 seconds or some shit. And then you have to do that every 30 minutes for like 4 or 5 times. And that's what I did. It was a very boring thing. There was like 3 different sofa chairs because 3 different people might sit down and do this blowing thing for the hydrogen breath test. It was called a hydrogen breath test. I didn't know like there's different variations of hydrogen breath. One could test for lactose intolerance. Another one can test for like overgrowth bacteria, which I wanted. That was what some other woman was testing for. She had some overgrowth bacteria or SIBO or whatever the case. I was like, oh, I want that test. I wanted that. But I had the lactose intolerance thing, and you had to sit down for like 2. I had to sit down for like 2 hours or so, and while I was sitting down, this like nurse was showing this movie that was like, I sort of feel like slightly racist, like had like slightly racist overtones or something. It was this movie. The only thing I remember about the movie is like this movie about like this American couple, right? I don't know what it was called. I don't know what the movie was called, but it was this movie about this American couple who, like, the husband who has a child. They have a child together. I think it's like 6 or 7 years old, and the husband is like Muslim, right? And something happens. I don't know if it was in Iraq or Iran. Something happened with his family member in Iraq or Iran, and he was going to go himself, but then he convinced his wife and just the whole family to go, just to see the different culture in Iraq and Iran and to visit their family members. And the woman who played the wife is very famous. She played the wife in Mrs. Doubtfire too. I forgot her name. I think it starts with Julie or Julia or something like that. Is it Julia Roberts? No, it's not. What is it? Let me look into that. I don't think it's Julia Roberts. I don't think the name is really that important. Julia. It's not Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts? It's not Julia Roberts. Is it Julie? No. Let me put Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire? Sally Field. She was the wife. And so like her ass was like, oh, I don't know if we should go because, it's a very primitive culture in Iran and Iraq. And she's like, no. She's like, the husband's trying to rest assure her, no, it's okay. But like toward like once they finally go to that place or Iraq or Iran, like he does like a 180 and he becomes like highly abusive and and just like fucking savage and shit, and starts beating the shit out of his wife because she wants to go back to America. He's like, they treated him like he was like this animal and shit. Like once he just flew over and touched ground in Iran, his ass was just like this, like just this monster, and just wanted to strangle the shit out of her. It was just like, it felt racist just watching it. Like how the fuck I don't know, it's just like weird to me. This guy for like at least 7 years, marry this guy, never had any type of issues or episodes of abuse, but once he steps foot in Iran, now he wants to beat the shit out of you. Now he's like, I'm gonna kill you. Like he was like threatening to kill her when she was trying to leave. It was just, and everybody, and the nurse, you put this movie on and there's several different people watching it, like, oh my god, this is incredible. Like they thought the movie was so compelling and I'm like, this is weird and racist. I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, the point I was trying to make is I tested negative for that lactose intolerance bullshit. I had to watch the movie. The movie was like weird as hell, but I tested negative for it, and then I had to take a poop test, and the poop test was really annoying because first off, no one likes to take you get like a kit where it's like a bucket and then there's vials and you're supposed to take a dump in the bucket and then dig out your poop and put it in the vials, and I don't want to, and I did that shit, and no one likes to do that, and I think I put too much poop in the poop vials, and then you're supposed to freeze your poop or refrigerate your poop, and I did, and then I finally send it back to the lab so they can take the poop from my poop vials. And then they looked at my poop vials and said, there's too much poop in my poop vials. So then they're like, you got to retake this and then put a little bit amount of poop in your poop vials. And then they gave me the kit again. And when I left, I said, fuck that shit. I'm not doing this shit again. So I'm not taking any more poop in my poop vial. I don't give a shit if it's my own poop. I just don't. I don't want to take repoop the poop vials. You know what I mean? Like, that's so stupid to me. And the reason why I don't is because I know I'm going to get negative. Like, I'm just at the point in my life where I'm at this point where when I do these tests, I'm already assuming they're going to be negative, and I'm feeling like I'm wasting money doing it. But at the same time, I feel like I should do it. So I didn't want to repoop my poop vial. I just didn't want to do that shit. But I eventually have to, and I don't know, whatever. But I don't know what else I'm going to do in terms of going to doctors to determine if I smell bad or get some type of diagnosis. I don't think any of these doctors are helpful. I don't know. Maybe I need to go to a liver doctor or a kidney doctor. I'm not sure. But it's already over 20 minutes. All I was going to say, let me just go speed through these things real quick. I'm still unsuccessful with dating apps. But I haven't changed my pictures or anything like that. And so like the goal is actually to go to like a photographer, but the photographers, like if you look at photographers, bruh, most photographers are only like I think they're like mainly focused on doing like wedding photography. Like that, if you go into any type of photographer, like wedding photography, baby photography, you know, like stuff like that, and their rates are like 300 an hour or 400 an hour. And like, bro, I just want to take a couple of pictures, nice pictures, professional pictures that I could put on my profile. And like, no. And I remember like messaging somebody like, hey, I'm just here for I just want to get some dating profiles. Is the rates different? And they're like, no, it's still 300. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. You know what I mean? Now people will be like, oh, well, why don't you just get friends to do it? The problem is I have no friends, so I can't do it. I think I gotta pay homeless people to take pictures of me. Like, hey, set me up right here. I'm gonna smile, and you just take a couple, 3 or 4 pictures. Like that's the only. I don't know. Maybe I should go to Craigslist. I don't know, man. What else happened? Yeah, photography is expensive. I have this goal to be more social and go to these like social activity. I want to join some type of social group or activity because I can't stay in my apartment all the time. You know, I know with a lot of people, they have to go out into the world where they have to go to college or school, you know, or workforce, and it's just very terrible and stuff like that. And when I finally got this like work from home, I was so relieved. I'm like, yeah, I was so relieved. I binge ate all this food I never could eat when I was like working at the office, and it felt great. I was eating like I had 2 cartons of ice cream. I had 2 platters of cheesecake. I had like all these chips and Pop Tarts and all this stuff, and it was fantastic. But after about like a year, just like within your containment, your apartment or your house or whatever, you start feeling the effects of loneliness, and it starts getting to you. So I was like, I need to join an activity. I haven't joined one yet. I think I'm going to join like swimming or ice skating or something. Like there's some other stuff, like I already mentioned this. I probably showed it in the last vlog about Jack's Frey. JacksFrey.com. Like, did I change my... Yes, I did. Like there's different leagues, axe throwing, all this other type of shit. It's just very interesting stuff. But like look at this. There's golf, pickleball, softball, mini golf. Ooh, kickball sounds super fun. But I have this fear, like when I sweat a lot, I get a lot of reactions. So like all these, if I was normal, I would go to all these different events, man. So the best thing I could possibly do is like darts or skee ball or bowling or something. Dodgeball sounds so much fun. That's on the south side, so I'll probably have to, that'd probably be like a 30 or 40 minute drive just to get there. Anyways, alright, I'm done ranting, I guess. I'll stop talking. You guys have a good day. The end.